Hi, welcome back to EcoWarrior. I'm Alessia from Ecotourism Bali, and today I'm here with the founder of Astungkara Way, Tim Fijal. And Astungkara Way is a new way to do tourism here in the island, on the island, and it's the perfect chance to really explore and live the true Bali. So, hi Tim, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Great. First of all, thank you for your contribution and your time. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yes. And I really can't wait to learn more about Astungkara Way, which I think is a great chance for all those people who really want to live real life experiences and while traveling. Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. And I think it's the change that tourism here in Bali really needs. Yeah.
Agree. Yes.
Yeah. So we can start maybe with the first question.
Sure.
Yeah. Could you tell us about what Astungkara Way is?
Well, we're an organization that aims to change the way people travel in Bali and hopefully beyond, as well as changing the way currently we're growing food. We think both of them, the way people travel and the way people are growing food, is causing a lot of problems. So we want to be the solution.
Great. Great to hear. So, and where is the Astungkara Way location? Where is located?
We originated in Subakomalambing, which is in Sibang Kaja, sort of in the heart of Bali, between Canggu and Ubud. So our headquarters is there in the middle of the rice paddies, our first, what we call regenerative farming learning center. But we have a trail from the south coast near Canggu all the way to the north coast near Lovina. So really we have locations across Bali and an arc from south to north.
Amazing. That's great. Wow. And when was the Astungkara Way established?
We were established at the onset of the pandemic in 2020.
During tough times, great solutions.
It was really tough times for a lot of people in Bali, but it was also a time of great opportunity in some ways. There was a silver lining to it.
Yes. Great, yes. And so can I ask you, what are your goals with this activity?
With Astungkara Way, we really want to reconnect people with nature and draw them closer to the source of their food. Get people thinking more deeply, reflecting on where their food comes from, and thinking about sourcing their food closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
So on one side, when we're working with people who are doing experiences with us, that's our goal, reconnect people with nature and draw them closer to the source of their food. But we also work with farmers on ecosystem restoration. So our goal is to support farming communities in their transition to natural farming.
Yeah.
So that we can regenerate life and soil.
Really interesting. Yes. It's going back to the past almost, right?
It really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we need actually. Yeah. And what are you doing? Why are you doing this Astungkara movement? What was the pulse that brought you to start this activity?
Well, I think our species is suffering somewhat. You know, we're struggling mentally and physically as a result of the way we've been living and the way we've been eating, and so it's kind of an opportunity to look at things differently and to slow down.
Yes.
And to take a more sane approach to life.
Of course.
So we offer experiences that give that, open a door to that for a moment, to cause people to stop and think a bit.
Yes.
And enjoy the experience of just slowing down.
Slowing down, yeah. When the society is going too fast, fast, we need really to pause and
Exactly.
right. And could you please tell us the solutions to address to drawbacks?
Okay, well, I think the question before that may have been something about challenges that we've encountered with Astungkara Way. So, well, I think on one hand, it's difficult to speak a language of slowing down when everybody wants to speed up.
Yeah.
And Bali is a place where people still know how to live very locally and live closer to nature, connected with the plants and animals around them. And yet there's a strong push in the direction of urbanization and people from the village going to the city to find jobs, to make money, so that they can move forward, as they say. So our movement is more of a slowing down movement. So trying to attract people to that, local people even, it's kind of counterintuitive. They may want to go to work in a big hotel, to wear a uniform and work in an air-conditioned office, but we're asking them to come back to the field and connect with nature and walk with us. And that's not necessarily what young Balinese people are thinking. So for us, that's a challenge. Yeah.
I can see it.
To find the right people to join our movement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And so next question is about instead, what unique event have you conducted here in Bali?
Well, we've conducted a lot of unique events, but I guess our main signature event, if you will, is a coast-to-coast trail. So we were the first to offer a coast-to-coast walking trail. It's inspired by El Camino in Spain, where the intention was to give people an opportunity to disconnect and reconnect. And it would be long enough that people would really feel that process of slowing down and walking and reflecting, and like a pilgrimage. So our signature experience is a 10-day coast-to-coast walk from the south of Bali, south coast, to the north of Bali. And we're sitting right now, our pilgrims just arrived a couple of hours ago. We are 5 days into our 10-day trail.
So
this is the middle point. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. Yeah. And so may I ask you, what do you think about ecotourism in Bali and especially sustainable tourism?
Yeah, I mean, I think anything eco seems to be a good idea, but so often it's kind of, almost an abused term. People will take the opportunity to say, take an unsustainable business, tourism business, and clad it in bamboo and then call it an eco village or an eco destination. So I think that's the challenge, is what exactly is eco? And with our project, we're really trying to have a lot of integrity around that. Not just talking about eco, as much as I respect the title of your project, we lean towards the word regeneration, and the goal being to ensure that participation in our activities will result in regeneration of life in soil and ecosystem restoration in Bali.
Yes.
We're down at a kind of low point right now in terms of life on planet Earth as a result of human activity. So we feel that humans need to contribute to the regeneration of that life.
Yeah.
And all of our work is around how can we make travel and people who travel, how can we engage them in that process of regeneration so that their experience here results in a net positive?
Yeah. To make people conscious also about what's actually happening. And I think nowadays more and more people are becoming aware of that compared to the past. So this is really going in the right direction. I think we are going forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. And do you have any suggestions about the current state of tourism in Bali?
Well, I think people who are coming to Bali, like even we provide, if I might say, a pretty awesome experience for people. But it's not an easy sell. People don't necessarily think about coming to Bali to walk across it.
Yeah.
People think about coming to Bali often to sit by a pool in a beautiful resort in very fancy, accommodations and with nice air-conditioned rooms and such. So I think that there's a great opportunity because Bali's true assets are it's people and the culture and the local villages, the ecosystems here, and everything that grows. There's just so much amazing things to celebrate here that generally people miss out. So, and I know that the government is starting to talk about marrying agriculture and tourism, and I think that's the key. I think when we bring those two things together and expose people to it, they can have an authentically Bali experience that is truly enjoyable and restorative for everybody involved, including ecosystems, local economies, communities, local communities. But people don't know it yet. So I think we just need to move in that direction.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. And so do you have any concern related to tourism?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I've been here for about 13 years, and over that period of time, about 13% of Bali's arable land that could have been used for growing food to make for resilient Balinese people has been lost as a result of development, largely related to tourism, so mass tourism mostly. So from the best of my understanding, about 1% of Bali's agricultural land has been lost every year for about the last 25 years. And it seems to just continue. So, when I got here, Canggu was just rice paddies, and now it's not. And now it seems that people have set their sights a little further west. So this is the sprawl just keeps on going further up coast. And I think at some point, there needs to be a less short-sighted, opportunistic approach to tourism here and exploitation of natural resources, so that Bali can be resilient and there can be opportunities for the long run for people to thrive here, the people of this island.
Of course. Yes. I think it's really interesting that you saw the change of the land. Since you've been here so long, you really saw how it changes due to all the activities. And this,
So long, but actually 13 years is not that long.
Yeah.
Picture of things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well.
So it happens very rapidly.
Yeah. And could you tell us how to protect tourism places?
Well, that's something that we're very conscious of. We take how to protect tourism places. I mean, I think if it's a tourist destination, it's already kind of too late, maybe. So what we're doing is taking people to places that are not tourism destinations. This is an exception on our trail because it is kind of a touristic destination. But our challenge is how to bring people into very local places with people who are not providers of hospitality, but they're farmers and local people. And how do we bring people there without disrupting their way of life? So we take that very seriously in terms of the number of people that we bring, the frequency that we bring people there, and how conscious we are about the ultimate objective, which is to help them to sustain their way of life, to give them an additional incentive to stay in the village and farm in their fields, and not feel like they have to go to Denpasar to make money or Kuta or Legian or Canggu and leave their village so that they can make money. So that's our goal. And I feel like if it's more distributed across the island so that local people can really benefit from it, then you don't have massive concentrations of destruction. I think those places already exist. So I think the other thing that I would hope for Bali is that those places wouldn't be further replicated. We have a Canggu, we have an Ubud, we have a Uluwatu. Maybe we could just keep it at that. I don't think we need to create any more, great mass tourism meccas.
Yeah, I understand. To make people also understand the value of the rest of the areas is a great mission. Definitely. And so what is your hope for Bali in the future?
Well, I mean, I think I've seen Bali through, a volcano, a pandemic. I wasn't here for the bombs, but I've heard all about it. I think this is just the perennial reality for Bali is they've placed a high amount of hope on tourism to float their boat. And my hope for Bali, in fact, the name of our project is Astungkara Way. Astungkara is an expression of hope, is that they would be resilient without tourism.
Yeah.
And I think the pandemic was a time where we could witness that a little bit. What do people do when it all falls apart? And a lot of people went back to their villages and started growing food again, which I think was a step in the right direction. So my hope for Bali is just a resilient Bali, where people are not entirely invested in travel, in tourism. I'm not sure if tourism at its current levels, current numbers can be sustained for that much longer, given the pressures that Earth is presently facing.
Of course, yes. Thank you so much for these answers. And maybe I can ask you some questions, that might be interested for people who have in their mind the idea of moving here, as you also did. So, for example, since you've been living here for quite some time, would you say that the Indonesian and Balinese cultures have taught you a different approach on life, like how to see life in a different way than the Western world teaches?
Yeah. I mean, I think I think about some of the meetings that I have at my past workplace at an international school compared to with farmers that I more often have now. And sometimes in meetings, we just sit and listen to the sound of the wind blowing across the rice paddies, and nobody's saying anything. And it's a really beautiful moment, So I think Bali has definitely taught me to be maybe a little bit less ambitious and be a little bit more present to everything that's around us. And I think Balinese people have also inspired me with their ability to live simply and stay close to family and community. That's something I feel that is in the West, something that we need to come back to.
Yes, simple life and simple things are the most important often.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And another interesting questions, maybe also for explorers who are interested about the island, would be if you would suggest any hidden gems that are definitely worth to explore here on the island.
There's so many. I mean, that's what our trail is about, exposing hidden gems to those who are courageous enough to step onto our trail. So we're all about the hidden gems. It's difficult for me to pick any specific one. But we're sitting here right in the heart of Bali, actually, in Tengah Traditional Village. It's such a beautiful place to explore. And it's interesting just coming up into the mountains. You get around Batu Karu and you notice how different it is, all the different things that grow here. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to mention any specific destination.
Okay.
But, you could walk on our trail and you could find them.
Yes, perfect chance to do so. So thank you so much for introducing us to your work. And it's been really a fascinating journey to listen to you during this time. And I really hope more and more people will start appreciating this concept of traveling and living in this place. And and to appreciate also what the true Bali has to offer. Yeah. So, terima kasih.
Sama-sama. Thank you very much for your interest.